Okay, so this part will be on YouTube. So, hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you a new episode of Dungeons and Dragons. Lost Mine of Fandelver, as my brother laughs at me. I'm glad I can provide entertainment for you. So, oh, good. I just heard back that someone can hear, so that's definitely good on the stream. How's the music? Can you even hear that? Not the people in Discord, not my players, because I didn't want to try and get us all to work in Sirenscape yet. So we are playing Lost Mine of Fandelver, and we had a couple people, no music on this end. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me turn it up here. I don't want it to be too loud. How's that?
I can't hear anything.
You're not gonna be able to hear it because another time we'll set up Sirenscape so you guys can get cool sounds and all that stuff. But I didn't want to mess too much with it this time around. So anyway, this is Lost Mines of Fandelver. I am joined with 3 of my players. A couple couldn't make it, so one of my players is actually going to be 3 characters. So we have my brother, who is Reximus. You can say hi if you want.
Hello.
Hello. And you made fun of my hey ya YouTubers thing. We have Jeff. He is playing Lilith, Crystal, and Aldar.
Hey.
And then we have a friend of mine, Savvy, and he is playing. Oh, I guess his name is Savvy too now. I was like, wasn't it like Darneth or something? But it's Savvy. So we have Savvy, who you can go ahead and say hey then.
Sup?
Sup. Perfect. So we're going to be playing this. This is kind of going to be a learning stream as well. My brother, my friend, and Jeff, they haven't really. Well, my brother and my friend, they haven't even played Fantasy Grounds at all. Jeff, I've shown a little bit, so he's played maybe twice. And then Jeff is really good at D&D. He's been playing it all his life. And then once again, my brother and my other friend haven't really played at all. So there's going to be a lot of learning here for you guys to get to learn Fantasy Grounds, maybe help me along with rules and stuff, but I'm not way too worried about rules. We just want to have fun. So I've already told them that as far as playing, they're more than welcome to do voices. They can role play their parts as much as they want, and we'll just play until I imagine it'll probably be a couple hours, and that kind of what I said to you guys originally.
Yep.
Okay.
Or until someone has to go, then we can always end it after a battle. So to begin with, if you guys would like to introduce your character, just tell a tiny bit about them. Doesn't have to be, just, what your class is. For Save, the way you do that is you'll see your icon at the very top of the screen, right? You can double click it and it will pull open your character, and you'll be able to see, and he's really, really new to Fantasy Grounds. My brother, I've shown a little bit. So you'll see, for example, on the first page, there's little tabs on the side that say main skills, abilities, inventory, notes, log, and actions. So on your main page, it will basically say what your character's name is. Under class level, it'll tell you your level and class, and then under race. So if you want to kind of introduce yourself, we'll just do it in the order that everyone shows up on the top of the screen. So Reximus, you can lead us.
What just happened here? My daughter was talking to me.
You're going to introduce your character just a little bit.
Okay.
As much as you can.
Let's see here. My character is a gladiator,
Look at there.
paladin,
Yes.
juggernaut. That is what my character is.
You're a Warforged Juggernaut Paladin. Perfect.
I set this character up about 2.5 months ago.
Yes, it's been a while.
It's gonna be a learning experience for me too. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so Lilith, Crystal, and Aldar, you can all go at the same time.
All right, so Lilith is a Tiefling variant. She has wings. She's a sorcerer with divine origins, which means she has some celestial blood running through her demon body. Crystal is a a wood elf cleric who is specializing in being a cleric of life, which means she gets extra healing points. And Eldar is a rogue who hasn't figured out how to be a rogue quite yet. He's still learning how to be a rogue.
Because he's level 1.
So, hey, next time maybe we should have him go first, and then we could follow up, and then we'll have an idea of what we're talking about.
You can always redo yours if you want.
Oh, there's no going back now.
All right, Save, you're up.
Hey, my character is Savi, and I named him after myself. Savi, right? He's a barbarian level 1. He's an outlander, and his race is that of the Goliaths.
Yes, he's a Goliath. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh yeah, he's not a half orc. I forgot. We made him a Goliath. We made him big and broody.
Is that all you want to say?
I got.
All right. Okay, so that's a really brief introduction to our characters. Thank you guys. So I'm going to share a map with you. And this map is of the land. It's called the Sword Coast. That's the wrong one. So you guys find yourself... I'm used to the Unity version now. So you guys find yourself... you'll notice up at the top, can you see the map?
Yes.
So really quick, just to give you an idea how to navigate in the map. If you're inside the map and you hold down Control and you move and left click, you can resize the map really quickly to fit your screen a little better. If you left click within the map, you can move it around your screen, so the whole little window. The mouse wheel will zoom you in and out. So you'll notice up at the top there's a area called Neverwinter. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Alright, so Neverwinter is the city you guys are in. We'll just kind of give you the standard start because it's going to be hard for me to be way too creative at the moment. But it all starts in an inn, or not an inn, a tavern, where everything always starts. So, do you guys, let me just, normally I do this before the actual recording or stream, but let me know, do you guys know each other?
No.
Aldor says yes. Aldar says yes, not Dor. My three do. So Lilith, Crystal, and Aldar know each other. Do Reximus and Save know each other? Nope.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. I'm getting typing going on, so that's good. All right, so we'll say in this tavern in Neverwinter, there's a table with 3 people there. There's a tiefling, which is kind of like a demon type creature. There's an elf, which everyone should know from like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And I don't remember what Aldar is. Another elf. So there's 2 elves and a tiefling sitting at a table. Sounds like the beginning of a joke, right?
Absolutely.
So also at another table, not very far away, is a big hulking Goliath. And Reximus, you come in from the outside. You just barely got to Neverwinter. You are someone that has been, thirsting for adventure throughout your life. And you finally come of age as a Warforged robot. Maybe this won't work. You've reached so many CPU cycles that now you can be an adventurer out on your own.
I'm ready to expand my AI. I got it. Okay.
You can expand your AI, exactly. So anyway, you come inside this tavern, and you see various patrons. Most of them look like they're, just people from the town. But then you see kind of over in a corner, you see some people that stand out. They're kind of wearing armor. They look like they don't necessarily belong here, but they're visiting. And you also see the table right next to them. You just is this hulking Goliath. So Save, do you have tattoos and stuff all over your body, or are you a pretty clean
all over my body, like Mike Tyson, all over my face?
You got them on your face and everything. Okay, so that's what you see as you come in. You see this that setting. So what would you like to do?
I like to do.
Reximus.
Probably order me some food.
What would you like to do, Reximus, as you're coming into this tavern?
I would like to go around and obtain knowledge.
Okay.
For my AI.
Go ahead and do that. So do you want to walk up to one of those two tables, or would you rather go up to just a table with commenters and stuff?
So you hear from an elf sitting in front of the other two, the demon chick and an elf. Greetings, intelligent suit of armor. What brings you to Neverwinter?
Hello, I seek enlightenment.
The cleric says, what enlightenment do you seek? Do you seek the divine, the sorcerer spots off, or do you seek the wisdom of the ages? And then the other elf dressed in leather says, or do you seek the knowledge of the Neely?
That is a very good question. I will say I am immunity. Sorry.
No, you're doing fine.
I got kids that keep talking.
No worries.
Immunity. I'm not sure how we can help you there, but what brings you here besides knowledge?
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Save, you kind of overhear this because you're the table right next to the table with the two elves and the tiefling. Would you like to...
So, first of all, I would like to apologize to the people talking to me because, I'm trying to get knowledge and everything, but yet I have children all over who have never seen a full-size robotic individual before, and they keep interfering. So I have to set them away, and I can resume. Oh wait, they've returned. Okay, go.
All right, Save, how about you? You're sitting at the next table, and you're hearing these inquiries of knowledge and such.
My reaction is, I don't like the fact that this stranger is going around in this tavern asking questions.
So you don't like it, you said?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. So what are you going to do about that?
I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna get into Reximus's face and find out.
Find out what?
What his business is.
All right. Reximus, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so all of a sudden a Goliath, this monstrosity, even bigger than you, gets up and he's asking, "What? Go ahead and do your question."
My question is, what's your business here? Why are you asking so many questions?
And that is an excellent question. I thank you for asking that. I am here looking for enlightenment on immunity for things that I've done in the past.
While they're talking, the rogue, the cleric, and the sorcerer are making bets on who could take who.
And what does that sound like, Jeff?
So the sorcerer says, "I got bets on the big tattooed guy." The cleric goes, "No, it's the robot all the way." And the rogue goes, "I think it's going to be a draw, kind of like a brains versus brawn thing."
So right now we have a standoff between this Goliath and the Warforged. So how are you going to defuse this situation, Reximus or Savi? Well, Savi sounds like he's the one instigating it, so you might have to defuse the situation, Reximus.
I just tried to defuse it by my counter question to what I was doing. But if that is...
So he's mad at you because you're asking questions. So you ask another question.
Yes, I have a lot of Sun Tzu in me, my programming.
Crystal is doing a persuasion, it looks like.
I was trying to roll it into the dice tower, but it didn't work.
It didn't work in the dice tower?
Drag it over. I forgot to drag the skill over.
Oh.
So the cleric walks up and says, boys. I'm sure you're both here for good, legitimate reasons. We're in the need of a meat shield. Our other previous meat shield, well, it happens with meat shields. But, I'm sure we all can get along, and there's no sense in wrecking this wonderful inn. And why don't we go find some goblins or orcs or something that really needs some convincing to do better and not take out our aggressions on this tavern. One sec, my wife needs me. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that sounds like an excellent an idea. Taking all of this outside and looking for adventure with the things in the wild.
I'm just waiting for him to return.
Does it look like I have a pen?
And she used that with the persuasion of 23.
Okay. So, are either of you going to contest the persuasion? Do any of you want to resist that persuasion? It sounds like Reximus kind of agreed. How about you, Savi?
I'm wanting to know what's in it for me to take it outside. I'm willing
There you
to
go.
do it right there on the spot.
Okay, so if you want to roll against her persuasion, which we can see was a 23, but next time we'll have it in the dice tower. You said it didn't work, or it didn't drag?
I forgot how to do it. I had a brain fart.
Okay. So really quick, so you guys see on the interface, you'll see something called a dice tower. if you roll dice in there, you will not see the value that you get. So you will not know how good or bad you do. It will only show it to me, and then I can adjust the story as needed. So as you guys are talking and squabbling with each other, the tavern door comes open, and in comes this dwarf, and he's got on leathers. He looks like he's a hard, just a worker, maybe from around, and on his side, like, he has a blacksmithing hammer on a tool belt, and he kind of goes up to the bar, and he's talking with the bartender up there, and you guys kind of overhear just little clips and phrases of what he's saying, but what you guys can gather is, words such as escort, to Fandolin, and just a couple words like that.
What is that thing that just came up?
A dice shadow.
Aldar would like to sneak up and see if he can eavesdrop on the conversation. And then Lilith looks at the Goliath and says, "What is it in for every adventurer?" in a very seductive demon tone. Gold, fame, and fortune. And it looks like a mighty big axe you carry there. Maybe we can find you something bigger, badder, and more savvy.
So you're saying that's savvy, right?
Yes. Because he asked what was in it for him.
That's true.
And I'm rolling a persuasion check on that, too.
Okay. So, savvy, if you want to... So, on your character sheet... By the way, I kind of forgot to mention this. There's a lot of things I was actually going to talk to these guys about before the stream started, but we had a couple technical difficulties, which I promised would be free. So the way Dungeons and Dragons work is just about everything you roll a d20. Based off the results of that roll is going to be whether you pass or fail. For example, Lilith, she's the one trying to persuade you into not being so angry and maybe deciding to kind of join with them and do an adventure. Let's say, for example, she rolled a 7, and then what would you use for resisting persuasion? Just what would you roll, Jeff, for that? I can't think now.
Persuasion could be you could either do perception or you could do intimidation. Intimidation's its actual opposite. Right. Or you could just do a straight up charisma check or intelligence check.
So let's just do a charisma check for you. So what I want you to do, Save, is you're going to click on your character sheet. It'll pull it up. And the window you'll see will have, on the side it says abilities.
Yeah, see it?
You'll see it says STR, DEX, CONINTWIS, and CHA. So STR is your strength. That's your brute strength, how hard you can hit, how much you can push, pull, things like that. Brute strength type feats. DEX is your dexterity. This is more acrobatics, how well you can stay on your feet, your balance, stuff like that. Also, it works in with thrown weapons. So if I'm shooting a bow, I use my dexterity to see if I hit. Constitution is pretty much it uses your health. That's where your health comes from, how much health you have. But it would also be things such as, if I'm in a poison cloud, how long can I hold my breath? Or swimming, how long can I hold my breath? Also, if you get poisoned, your constitution would dictate if you get poisoned or if you're able to resist it. INT is intelligence. This is just your book smarts. This is how smart you are in general. WIS is your wisdom. This is how you see the world around you, your perception, how much you pay attention to details and such things like that. And then CHA is your charisma. This isn't necessarily how beautiful you are, but this is how other people would see you. So Jeff, as Lilith, is trying to persuade you into doing something. Now, you can either choose to try and resist that persuasion, or you can choose to not resist that persuasion. How would you like to move? How would you like to go about it?
I'm going to choose not to resist the persuasion.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and be... So, that's good. So you're going to go ahead and cool down and say, that what she said intrigued you, right?
She said intrigued me. I'm always about collecting more and more weapons.
There you go.
It's part of my religion.
It's a good religion. Okay, so
that is
Aldar,
very barbarian.
Yes, it is. So Aldar, you are trying to nonchalantly go up to close to the bar to see if you can overhear what the bartender and this dwarf that came in that you heard say something about escort and Phandalin. So as you're there, kind of acting like you're not there, you do overhear that it sounds like he is looking for people that can escort a cart or a wagon of supplies to Phandalin, and that he needs them by tomorrow.
Okay, I'll motion to the cleric, and then Crystal will come up and kind of walk up by the dwarf and the bartender and say, "Fellow dwarf, I hear that you're in need of some protection or some escort. Me and my party," and she points to Savvy, Crystal, herself, Aldar, Lilith, and Reximus would be more than willing to escort you for a fee, as it were. What are the details of this job that you're proposing there, fellow dwarf?
That's small text. So he turns to you and he extends his hand and says, "Name's Gundren Rockseeker," and I'm going to send you guys a picture of what he looks like real quick. So this is Gundren Rockseeker. You can see kind of has his tool belt with his hammer and stuff. He tells you, let me find it real quick. He tells you that he is looking for some people that can escort a wagon from Neverwinter. It's like a 2-day travel down to the little town of Phandalin. He has a big order that he's replenishing their stock down there, and he says that the road down there, the high road, has been hit a lot recently by the Kregmaw goblins. He does tell you that hold on just a sec, sorry, I just closed out the window I needed. Here it is. So he does tell you that if you guys can do this, he can pay you guys 100 gold when you get there.
She says, "That sounds good, but I think we need a deposit of at least 25 gold before we head out to, ensure that we're going to get paid. And by chance, barkeep, would you know of any other bounties on goblineers or the like for if they're invading this town or they're causing problems on the road? Surely somebody must be interested in either ears or scalps or something." She kind of bats her eyes and all that fun stuff.
So the barkeep goes, "Well, the goblins really don't have much here. I mean, we don't really have much issue with the goblins way up here, but I would bet in Phandalin itself, since the goblins are the ones that are stopping caravans and everything from reaching Phandalin, that they would probably be more than happy to pay a ransom with proof such as goblin ears."
Awesome. She says, well, what time are we leaving, Mr. Dwarf, and where are we meeting?
So he asks you to follow him out, and he's gonna take you to his shop so you know where it is. Are you guys all following?
All right, before that, I say, well, just give me just 1 second. She walks over to Reximus and Savvy and says, good news! Reximus, I have found you a way to gain knowledge, and Savvy, I have found a great way for you to improve upon those weapons you have. All we have to do is help this dwarf over here on a 2-day travel, and we'll each make 20, whatever 5 divided by 100 is, 20 gold each.
Fantastic. Let's do it.
Let's roll.
And as an added bonus, I think we'll delight in this. If we capture the goblins' scalps and ears, we can turn them for an extra reward. So we probably should make sure that we take out some extra goblins along the way.
I hate goblins.
All right, my three are going to follow him to his forge.
Okay, so you guys follow him out of the tavern, or well, it's a tavern/inn. So, and you go down the road a little ways, and you approach this building that, I mean, smoke is billowing out the top of it, a thick black smoke, and you see a logo on the side, kind of a sign, and it's kind of like a shield with a giant red G in it, and he says, "Here we are. This is my blacksmith I own." And as you guys approach, you do see that there's a cart being loaded up with supplies and stuff. And he turns to you guys and he says, so I need to go and, I need to take care of some business there. So I'm actually going to leave tonight with my friend here, Sildar. And he points to a guy. I don't know if I have a picture of Sildar, tell you the truth. Let me check real quick. I don't. So he points to this guy that looks like a knight. He's wearing, some nice armor. He's pretty old. He's up there in age. And he turns to Sildar and he goes, we'll be going in just shortly. And you see him, he takes a map case off of his belt and he tucks it into the horse. And the horse, you can see on the back of it, it has the same type of, like a blanket resting over this under the saddle. And once again, you do see that, the shield with the giant red R in it. And Sildar's horse also has this on it. And he goes, so you guys meet up here tomorrow morning. Like I said, we're going to go tonight. I have some business I need to get taken care of. And just escort these supplies down to Phandalin. And when you get there, go to the Barthen's Provisions. And I'll be there and I'll be able to pay you the rest of the money you need. So with that, he turns to Sildar and he goes, all right, let's head off. And he climbs up on the horse and kind of heads off into the sunset. So you guys don't need to leave till tomorrow because the wagon's not going to be ready. You can go back to the inn. You can, do whatever you want. The city is yours.
I don't trust this guy. I think we should follow him to see what's going on.
Anyone want to respond to that? I don't trust this guy. Crickets.
Spoken like every player I've ever DM'd ever. The NPC that means you no harm is the one you want to kill. The NPC that wants to kill you, you've already killed. So my cleric says, it matters not if we can trust him or not. We take the wagon, we kill goblins along the way, if he stiffs us, we've already gotten 25 gold. She hands each person 5 gold and says, we'll sell whatever is on the wagon for whatever. So let him go. Let's get a good night's sleep tonight in the inn. Come tomorrow, let's escort these goods. And worst case scenario, we get a wagon full of goods. The sorcerer nods and the rogue says, aye, sounds like a great plan.
If he crosses us, I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the dwarf.
You're gonna what now?
Eat the dwarf.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be right there helping him out.
Okay, so all right, explain to me what you're doing then.
I'm gonna just go back to my business in the bar in the tavern, and then meet everybody up first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right. So do you all go back to the tavern?
Yes.
Rex.
I go outside and kind of walk around and just go and check things out.
Okay.
Because I don't want to upset Alder or Savvy anymore because I was asking too many questions.
Good choice.
Probably good. All right.
But I only have an intelligence of a 9, so I'm not very smart.
Is that why you're seeking intelligence? Okay. So you guys are heading back. So are you just staying outside the tavern itself, or are you just walking around the city? Neverwinter is a really big city. It's one of the main cities on the Sword Coast.
Well, I'm just gonna go around, check things out. I'm not gonna go too far away because I got a job to do in the morning. So I'm just gonna do a little walk around, a little scouting.
Aldar is going to follow him to make sure he doesn't get in trouble because he seems to be a little lost.
Okay. So, as Reximus, as you're walking, okay. So as you're walking, and walking around, seeing what's what and such, you all of a sudden just hear the sound of a clattering can or something like that, and you turn around and Aldar's right behind you.
Huh. What are you doing, Aldar? If I know your name, I don't even know if I know your name right.
Yeah, they've introduced themselves. He says, well, you see, I was walking along. I was looking at the stars, you see, Nate. And all of a sudden, poof, there you were.
Okay, Reximus, so I want you to open your character sheet. You're going to go to the second tab on the side. You can see little tabs that say main, skills, abilities. You're going to click on skills. Under perception, actually, let's do insight. You'll see that it says +1, and there's like a little ghost picture of a die in the corner. Do you see that?
Uh-huh.
You're going to drag that to the dice tower and drop it inside. Perfect. Well, you didn't drop it in the dice tower, but that's okay.
Where did I drop it at? What's the
The dice tower, as you look on your screen, it's on the lower right. It's probably by your library. Your map may be covering it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. All right.
There it is.
So, I'm going to turn down this music in my ears just a tiny bit. It's a little loud for me. So, you believe him.
What, genius?
You believe that he's just looking at the stars or whatever.
Could you what? Is there anything particular that you're looking for in the star? Their stars are all mapped, and we know where everything is. Are you looking for something unknown to me?
So he looks at you and says, well, you see. And he points at some random star. That star right there is the star that twinkles the brightest. And I was trying to follow that star to see if it would take me to fame and glory. Alas, it took me to you, so that must be good fortune.
All right, Reximus, you want to roll another insight in the dice tower?
Okay. Let's see. Insight in the dice tower.
Could this be any dice, or is it got to be that 21?
It'll automatically do the 21.
So just so you guys are aware, Dungeons and Dragons is what they call a D20 game. And like our DM was explaining earlier, most everything you do is going to be a 20-sided. So for your ability checks, it's going to be a 20-sided. For your attack rolls, it'll be a 20-sided. Most everything we're going to do is based around the 20-sided.
Usually, almost the only thing that is other dice would be damage. There might be a couple exceptions here or there, but mostly it's damage that doesn't do the 20-sided. So, Reximus, you're not quite sure you believe what he's saying right there.
That is not quite what I had in mind for you. I think that you know exactly what it is you're doing, and you are just trying to take me away from what I am trying to do.
He looks at you kind of, little me? Why would I do such a thing?
Do you want to roll another insight on this?
Sure.
You totally believe him now. And so if you want to know what I'm seeing on my side, so he rolled a deception to see if he's deceiving you. Just to give you an idea of how I'm doing it. He rolled an 18, then he has a modifier of +4. So he got 22 on his deception. Now, if you roll higher than that with your insight, then you don't believe him. You rolled a 2 plus your 1, so you got a 3. So you totally believe him now.
At this point in time, I'm going to convince him to come back to the inn with me, and let's just go to bed for the night and get up tomorrow.
All right, so go ahead.
I will go back with you. That is fine. But I do not require any sleep, for I am a robot.
I am a warforged.
You are a robot, very correctly, but don't you regenerate or something, cycle down, whatever you call it? I have yet to meet a warforged, so it's really intriguing me that you are such a big robot to meet. You can tell he's changing his accent for, like, whatever reason. At which point in time, if he's going back to the inn, I'm happy. Go back to the inn and wait till, sleep till the next morning and then go meet at the blacksmith shop with everybody else.
All right, sounds good. So, are you going back, Reximus?
I'm going back.
Okay, so you're going back. You get back to the inn and you go up to the barkeep because he actually runs the inn and that's kind of where you do everything. And he says, "So you guys gonna need a room?"
Hello?
Oh.
Lost you there.
What? Did you hear what I said?
No.
Oh, you cut off.
Okay, so you go up to the barkeep, because that's also the main desk, and he says, "So do you guys need a room?"
I do not require a room. Why do you ask? Are you hitting on me?
Well, this is an inn. Usually people come and they take a room to have a place to stay the
Relax.
night.
Relax. I'm totally kidding. I understand exactly what you meant.
Are you going to go,
I will take a room.
All right, and he tells you it will be 2 silver for the night.
Well, if you trust the story of the guy who we just talked to a little while ago, as soon as we complete our quest, I'm going to receive some gold coin. And surely after I receive this gold coin, I will come back and pay you for the room, for I am poor right now.
Actually, you have some money. If you go to the inventory tab and scroll to the bottom, oh, actually, I don't have any money. I think you have 15 gold. There, now you do. So you have the money. So you're fine. And then he turns to Save and the Jeffs and asks if they'd like a room.
Give me the biggest room you have.
All right.
For I am a large person.
He says that'll be 2 silver.
Wait a second. He gets the biggest room here for 2 silver, and I get whatever you gave me for 2 silver? That doesn't sound right. Are you trying to rip me off, barkeep?
Sir, it's also the biggest room.
Relax. Like I said before, I'm just kidding. I understand.
What is your persuasion?
Alder looks at him. Easy there, Turbo. Gear down a little bit, big guy. It's okay. It's an inn. Obviously, our fine, outstanding bartender here is clearly making sure everybody gets the best room. So let's just, you know what? We'll treat you guys the rooms. Barkeep, my cleric hands him the amount of gold she needs to. Forgive our friend. He's still kind of a little wired crooked.
He goes, no problem. I get all types here, and he gives you the room numbers. So you guys going up to your rooms?
Yep.
Is that 5 rooms, by the way?
My 3 are sharing a room because of watch and stuff like that. They don't really know what's going on. So
okay. So the Jeffs go up first, and then Reximus and Savi, you're kind of following behind. You see them go into their room, and you kind of see the size of the room, and then you open your door, and you see the sizes of the room. More than likely, all the rooms are the same size. They don't have different size rooms. So, but they're decent sized rooms. So, do you go into your room?
Yes, I go into my room.
I also go into my room.
All right, so Reximus, you go into your room, and you go into, what is it called? Sentry. It's on your abilities tab. Sentry's Rest, which is kind of like sleep. It works like sleep. However, you're still alert as to what's going on around you. It's kind of like a power saver mode.
Okay.
And then Save, you go in and you go ahead and go to bed. And then Lilith, Crystal, and Alder, you guys all go to bed. So it almost seems like no time at all happens, and you hear the rooster outside just going nuts, doing his little cock-a-doodle-doo just repeatedly. So you're assuming it's probably around 6-7 o'clock in the morning.
Powering back on.
Nice.
Systems check. Everything is nominal. Must investigate what that bird is doing.
Gonna head downstairs, get some. How much time do we have before we have to head out?
You probably have a couple hours. He said in the morning. He didn't give a specific time, but you do know that most places like open like at 10 o'clock or something. You're just basically waiting for them to get the cart all packed up and ready to go.
When we go downstairs, the cleric's gonna ask the innkeep if there's like a page boy or a runner that we can send to the forge shop to have them come let us know when they're ready to go and order some breakfast.
He says, sure, yeah, we can have someone run down there and get an estimate as to how long before they're ready to go. And he calls out, for one of his little helpers there, and he's like, run down to Gundren's and see when they estimate the cart will be ready to go.
And then I'm going to find a table that's big enough for all 5 of us, and when the others 2 come down, I'm going to motion them to the table.
All right. Are you done doing your power on self-test, Reximus?
Yes.
We're doing.
Everything's checked.
Windows
I've seen
loaded.
the bird. Windows loaded, yeah. Come downstairs, see I'm being motioned to come over to sit down at a table. And because I believe everything that they say to me, I come over without hesitating and sit down.
Okay. All right, Save, you getting up or are you fighting it's too early?
No, I am up. I am up, annoyed by the sound of that bird, and I slowly make my way down to the tavern, find a separate table because I am incredibly annoyed and demanding sustenance.
All right, so you go sit down. So you said you're not at the same table as everyone else.
That's correct.
So you're at the table kind of next to them? Or are you on the whole other side of the lobby there?
Let's go on the other side.
So you're on the opposite side of the lobby. All right, so as you sit down,
not a one person.
So as you sit down, the waiter comes up and says, "What we have?"
I will have all the eggs and bacon you have.
All the eggs and bacon. Okay. So he goes, "Okay, I'll get you like 3 orders of eggs and bacon?"
Everything you have. All the eggs and bacon.
All the eggs and bacon. Okay. And then he kind of, as he's walking off, you kind of hear him like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." You don't know what he's saying, but he's kind of muttering something. He goes over to the other table with the other 4 and goes, "What do you guys want?"
I say, I would like to have eggs and bacon.
You're kind of a robot.
I am a robot who is experimenting with
Eggs and bacon.
eggs and bacon. And barkeep, see that big man over there? I want him to pay for it.
And who do you point to?
I point to Savvy, of course.
Okay. All right, so and then he asks Lilith, Crystal, Naldar, what can I get for you?
We'll just take the morning special, whatever that is, and she tips him a silver piece to make his mood a little bit better. And she says, when you take our friend over there, whatever you take him some Irish coffee. Maybe that'll put him in a better mood.
And he goes, oh, thanks. All right, I'll do that. So he goes back into the kitchen, and you can overhear, you can just barely overhear. He's like, he said he wants all the eggs and bacon. And the guy's like, we don't have that much. And he goes, well, get him what you can. So he's gone for a while. And it's probably about 10 minutes or so. And then he comes out and like he brings over to the table of four. He gives them their food, their breakfast special, and then there's a plate with 2 pieces of bacon and 2 eggs on it. And then he goes over to Savi and he says, yours is still being worked on.
All I do was look at the waiter, give him a stink eye, and turn away and look straight outside the window. Just kind of kept to myself silently.
Okay. So you go ahead and do that. So another 10-15 minutes goes by and finally comes out and he's just got this plate, just like there's probably like 50 eggs on there, and then just a heaping mound of bacon, and he brings them out and he puts them on the table, and he also says, oh, and here's a drink for you.
Consume everything within 5 minutes. Right?
You just vacuum it up, huh?
I just vacuum it up. My mood is better. Smile on my face, and then I make my way over to the table of four, and ask, "You guys get enough sleep?"
My power cells are sufficiently charged.
Then I look at the other two, waiting for a response.
So you're looking at Lilith, Crystal, and Aldar waiting for a response?
That's correct.
So she said something in a language unless you understand it, to Lilith, and Aldar kind of chuckles and looks at you and says, I am glad you decided to join us, boyo.
So if you're able, so in the chat, you'll actually see there's some squiggles. If you're able to understand that language, which is Elvish, it will actually have a translation above it. If you don't, I guess you don't speak that language. So a few minutes later, you hear that the waiter, and you hear him kind of arguing with the cook and say, no, you take it to, I'm not taking to it, you take it to him. And the cook's like, no, I cook it, you take it to him, you're the waiter. So he comes out and he walks up to Save and he's like shaking, his hand is just like totally shaking. He goes, here's your bill, sir. And he gives it to Save.
I look at the bill and I said, and I flip out and I bust up my battle axe and I start chopping down tables nearby, angry and upset.
So you see, the bill, by the way, was 5 gold.
All right, before he gets up, and as I see him rattling his battle axe, Crystal wants to make a persuasion check to convince him not to not chop up the end, and she will cover the bill for him.
Okay, so Savi, you have the option now to resist this persuasion, or you can go ahead and be persuaded.
Let's see here. Go ahead and be persuaded.
Okay, so Crystal calms you down a bit, and she goes, I got this, and she goes ahead and pays for it. And you can see the waiter, he gives a huge sigh of relief. He thought he was going to lose his life at this point. So time is the servant boy that went to check on Gundren's progress at the loading of the cart. He comes back and he tells the innkeeper that it should be ready any time now. And so the innkeeper comes over to your table and he goes, so I just heard that the cart over at Gundren's should be ready any time now.
All right, she tips the bartender a gold piece and says, "Come on, fellow travelers. This is the cleric speaking. Let's go make some more money." And Savvy, may I suggest that some things can be solved without the need for chopping everything to pieces. At which point in time, Alder says, I prefer the stabby.